in the 68 kilo championship. That's 152 pounds, 10 3/4 stone. Well, here in the Palace of Sport, the afternoon light has faded. We're moving into the evening for this men's 69 kilo championship. So sit back with myself, David Goldstrom, and David Morgan, and enjoy what promises to be a really competitive championship with Venceslas Dabaya of France, the man hoping to hold on to the title that he won by just bodyweight last year in Strasbourg on his own French stage. But it's not going to be that easy, because there at the bottom of the start list, Demir Demirev, a man who's won this title not once but twice. A chance now to meet them in person backstage in the warm-up room, and this is the junior European champion of 2 seasons ago, Tigran Martirosyan, the younger of the 2 Martirosyan brothers. Afgan Bayramov represents Azerbaijan, 4th last year in the senior Europeans, behind Venceslas Dabaya. 21 years of age is Mehmed Fikretov, 2nd in Europe 3 years ago, representing Bulgaria, one of 2 Bulgarians in the lineup this evening. And Giorgia De Luca, big cheer for the Italian, 23 years of age, and just might surprise one or two. He's said to be finely tuned for his challenge this evening. Alexandru Rosu for Romania, 20 years of age, the junior European silver medalist of last season in Tenerife. And here's the champion, Venceslas Dabaya of France, formerly of the Cameroons, and looking to hold on to this title. Next, it's Alexandru Dujojlu for Moldavia, youth European champion, and next to him, representing Albania, Gert Trasha, the youth European champion 3 years ago. 2 more to go in the lineup, and Turan Mirzaev at 28 is one of the more experienced men in the lineup, 6th in the World Championships last season in Chiang Mai in Thailand. And completing the lineup, Demir Demirev. He's won this not once but twice, as I mentioned, in 2005 and 2006. Bulgaria, the most successful nation in this category, winning 6 championships in the last 10 years.
The long haul at Le Mans, race number 1 in the World Endurance Championship. Suzuki won it last year. Can they dominate again in the battle of attrition around the famous Bugatti circuit? Motorcycling's Le Mans 24-hour race, Saturday at 14:45 live on Eurosport and at 1600 live on Eurosport 2.
Afgan Bayramov for Azerbaijan, opening up the competition with 132 kilos on the bar. This man who was 11th in the World Championships last season, 4th in Europe, and the first of the competitors onto the stage. Good lift. So good start, and already the next man out on the stage. And this is Rosu of Romania, 133 kilos, just 1 kilo up. First failure of the evening, and just to bring you up to date with everything, Brikan Kalja of Albania was the best man by virtue of lighter body weight in the B group earlier in the day. He snatched 135 kilos, so he, so to speak, at the moment is the leader in the clubhouse, but I don't think you'll be holding on to that for very much longer. Well, David, you've had a look at the lineup tonight. What's your assessment? Where do you think this championship lies?
Well, if I was a betting man, which after last night, you know I am, I'll give you that €5 later. Well, I've got to go for Tobias. Having said that, I would never write Demirev of Bulgaria off, because you know, he's done it in the past. So I'll put my money on one of those two, and then I think everybody else is going to be fighting it out for the bronze.
So Alexandru Rosu to follow himself. Got a silver medal in the Canary Islands in the 69 kilo category. Snatched 137 kilos, and it's interesting with him because he's actually been sort of stuck on that all last season. He produced that in the World Championships, in the Junior World Championships, as well as the Junior Europeans, as you see Demirev.
Yes, and I think that looking at this athlete, he weighed in right on 69 kilos, which suggests that you know, he's already struggling to get his weight down, and I think to see some improvement, he probably needs to be lifting in the 77 kilo class.
Well, we'll be looking for some improvement, because the European Championships go to Romania next season, to Bucharest, where he'll be lifting on his own stage. So 20 seconds.
Very good. Completely different lift to the first one. Solid, strong, confident, exactly as a first attempt should look.
Yeah, that's a good team effort from both him and the coaches, working it out, putting the correction in, coming out and getting himself, well, not entirely back on track, but he could get up to that 137. I've got a feeling he will go for 137.
Well, they've added a kilo, and the clock's ticking down.
No,
I think he's going to, as you say, Dave, he's not going to go up a kilo. He's going to take more than that.
No, the new rule, which was introduced a year ago, is within coming off stage, within 30 seconds of coming off stage, you now have to nominate immediately your next weight. And the whole idea of that was to keep the whole competition moving, because as you remember, David, before, sometimes you could play a lot of games and minutes would go by and nothing would be happening. So it's actually a good rule.
Yeah, because it keeps the competition flowing.
Huge cheer from the Italian fans. Giorgio De Luca coming onto stage at 135 kilos. Well, they've had a gold medal from Jenny Pagliaro in the snatch in the opening 48 kilo, and a bronze medal overall from her. And then Vito Delino getting a bronze in the clean and jerk. And I wonder if De Luca can produce something. This is 3 kilos short of his personal best, but a sensible opener. Oh.
Well, that's interesting. That's the sort of thing you do if you're doing reps on a weight. You sort of, you know, you snatch it, bring it straight down, then go for the next one. So perhaps he's used to doing more than one on it. Oh, well, that's a wasted attempt, unfortunately.
Yeah, because he was easily there. Strength is no problem. I mean, it's quite bizarre, that.
So these men, 69 kilos, that's just a touch under the 11 stone mark, and we're already getting towards that double body weight snatch. 135 kilos, 297 pounds.
Will be the next lifter.
Well, it's a pity for the Italian, because, you know, every lift in this class tonight has got to count, because, you know, you highlighted Dabaya and Demirev, but, you know, the rest of it is actually, it's only a 19,
wide open.
Yeah, it's only a 19 kilo spread across all of the entry totals. So, you know, we've had some funny old evenings here already, and this could be another one. It seems to me a bronze medal is up for grabs, certainly. De Luca, nobody wants 135 kilos, so out he comes, 55 seconds.
Well, plenty of encouragement from the crowd, as you'd expect.
Yeah, well, if he's got any aspirations, David, he's got to make this. That's so straightforward. It just, you know, what a wasted first attempt. I mean, the only thing I can think of is that, you know, in fact, just rechecking, back in the World Championships in Santo Domingo, he actually snatched 141 kilos. And I've got a feeling that he would have prepared for 140. And I think the question is whether he goes for it. If he wants something out of this competition, he's got to. And now Mehmet Fikretov onto the stage, 21 years of age, 2 years younger than Demirev, his Bulgarian teammate, and 7th at the last 2 World Championships. Not bad, and an improving member of the new generation.
It's good. So 3 whites, 2 lifts to come.
Yeah, this is the category, as I said, the Bulgarians, since the weight categories were introduced back in 1998, Plamen Yeliashkov was the first man to take the title with a total of 330 back in 1998. Galibin Boevsky, the first of his championships in 99. And then Galibin recapturing the title in 2002 and 2003, and Demirev in 2005 and 2006. So Bayramov now.
He was successful on 132, but I thought he pressed it out. So it'll be interesting to see what he does with this one.
No lift, prova non valida.
Well, he certainly doesn't look as if he's going to be a player in this championship. And he put in a total of 325, the highest total posted. Venceslas Dabaya, 337 kilos. And Turan Mirzaev, 335. Demir Demirev, 336. So, if we can believe the entries on a piece of paper, those 3 men just a little bit ahead of the rest of the field, but what you write on a piece of paper, what you deliver on the night are often 2 very different things. Bayramov's going to have to come out, I think, and follow himself. Just opening weights, Dabaya posted 145 kilos to get his challenge underway. Demirev, 146 kilos. And at the top of the table there, Tigran Martirosyan, interesting, 146 kilos. Of course, his older brother was pretty useful, 7th in the Olympic Games at 85 kilos. Or did I say a younger brother? Older brother, I mean. His older brother, yeah. Dabaya. So, Bayramov.
There's nobody else wanting 136, so having to come out and take this again. So needs to just hang on that bit longer in that first phase, which he does. And yeah, for my money, that's the best lift he's done today. Yeah, good recovery.
Good lift, prova valida per l'atleta dell'Azerbaijan che conclude il suo esercizio di strappo con 136 kg.
Although to put that into perspective, Dabaya, you'd be expecting him to do what, 145, 146, that sort of area.
Well, he's opening on 145, which seems a high opener, because I think he's got a best of around 148.
Representing Albania.
Get Trasher, and 137 kilos for the Albanian, 20 years of age, youth European champion 3 seasons ago. So interesting to see what sort of progress he can make coming up from the 62 kilo division in, well, after the 2006 season.
So shaky but successful opener there on 137 kilos. That's 302 pounds.
Weighed in at 68 kilos 45.
Romania. On platform, Alexandru Roșu, Romania. And the last attempt with 137 kilos.
These men lifting pretty speedily today. And already on the stage, Alexandru Roșu.
Well, you were right. You said he jumped to 37. That's exactly what he's done.
That seems to be his... I'm almost wishing he put 138 on to sort of break the mould. But obviously, that's where he feels he ought to be and can be. I wish he put the extra kilo on, David.
I think he'd have done it, wouldn't he?
Yeah. You know, I mean, the disappointment is, you know, he's 20 years of age. If he was doing that all through last season, I would have expected at least an extra kilo. And having got the second attempt, I mean, that...
I think it signifies time to move up to the 77s, I think, for him. I think he's probably reached his potential as a 69er, and it'll be a lot more comfortable and a lot more efficient at 77 kilos.
So, Gert Trasher leading by virtue of lighter body weight, 68 kilos 45. Roșu, as you said, David, right on the limit at 69 kilos. And the bar at 139 now for Fikretov, second attempt. Not quite high enough?
No, needs to just hang on just a split second longer so that he can gain the height needed to fix the bar at straight arms.
Keeps him in fourth place at the moment, but still the big guns to open up here. Dabaya, Dudoglu, Demirev, Tigran Martirosyan and Mirzaev. And there is Demir Demirev. Well, the Bulgarians, as I said, they make this very much their own category over recent years.
So Demirev just warming up there with 120 kilos. It's always good to go back and see what's going on in the warm-up rather than watching them load the bar.
Yeah, you get an idea, don't you? I mean, this is where they're making their adjustments, aren't they? Compare, you know, given how they're doing, how that progress is going, whilst one of their coaches is keeping an eye on their main opponents to actually have a look how they're doing to decide where the next steps are going to come. Because there is just occasionally the point where you over-egg it and do more than you have to. So Trasher, as you said, it was a bit shaky, but he got it away. And this is the man who's leading the competition at the moment. And he's put an extra 3 kilos on the bar. He has to go up by a minimum of 2. He's actually put 3 kilos on.
Well, he was always going to be struggling with that.
David, 1 or 2 questions in on the email. John Preston had quite a few questions, actually. He wanted to know, David, from you about training regimes and special diets for the weightlifters. Pick up on that one first.
Well, they eat lots of protein. People in the lighter weight classes avoid fat and sugar because obviously it benefits them to have the maximum amount of muscle and the minimum amount of fat. Training regimes, well, the ideal training regime is 6 hours a day, 6 days a week. But of course that isn't Oh, and a good lift. But of course, that 6 hours a day isn't done in one go. It's done in 6 small sessions, 3 in the morning with a half-an-hour break between each one, and then a sort of rest and a sleep in the afternoon, and then back for another 3 short sessions in the evening with half-an-hour breaks. So it's a pretty tough regime.
Good effort, by the way, David, from Fikretov, because he missed at 139. He put the extra kilo on and took 140. So that's right up with his personal best. And Gert Trascher, who was in the lead, also trying 140. Now he's lighter than Fikretov, so this would put him back in top spot. But just to emphasize, there are still 5 lifters to begin their challenge. So he's fought for that.
They did well to hold that.
It's not exactly textbook, it's not exactly wonderful to look at, but he's got the strength and he's certainly got the determination. And all credit to him for that. It's not the furthest he's been. He's been up to 143 in his time, but recovery there. And it's the Albanian from the Bulgarian from the Romanian at the moment. Trascher, Fikretov, Rosu for Romania. And now De Luca. Well, I suggested this, didn't I, David? That he's got to go. This is the big occasion, so up 6 big kilos.
Yeah, it's quite a big ask. The coaches look pretty nervous. Well, it's a shame because the strength was there. Took it to locked arms, but just couldn't keep it there.
It's a real pity that he wasted that first attempt, you know, David, because that's what set him back. He's just not been able to do it in the steps and stages that he originally planned. Yeah, if he got the 135 in the first place and then could have gone 137, 138, and then, yeah.
For the first attempt of Mirzayev, Azerbaijan.
Another interesting question from John. He's asking, are there any rich weightlifters? I'm sitting next to one, John. David Morgan, 5 times Commonwealth Games champion. Made your fortune, really, didn't you, David?
Weightlifting cost me money. It didn't make me any money. Although I do have a book out there at the moment called Be Your Best. You can buy it on Amazon.
You are wicked.
That might make me some money.
No, I suppose
some weightlifters made some money. I mean, people like
Suleiman
Oglu has made millions. I think he got a house every time he won a world championship, so he must have about 20 houses. The Greeks, some of the Greeks have made some money. Pyrrhus Demas had $1 million, I think, for each of his Olympic games. So that's 3 million. 4 million, in fact. I think he got $1.5 million up front for the last one, where he only achieved the bronze. So he's made some pretty big money. But it's not football, and it's not basketball or baseball.
Turan Mirzayev opening up there pretty well. 6th in the world in Thailand last October, and 142 kilos for
that was 2 more than he had posted, so his warm-up's gone well. He only had 140 down, and I think he dealt with that pretty effectively.
Yeah, I mean, he's certainly a pretty steady Eddie at 145, 146 generally, so that looks pretty good. And Dabaya, not too long before we see him as well. Now we're getting into the real depth of the competition there, and you can see there Venceslas Dabaya, 146.
You were just talking about Dabaya. I think he's going to be the next athlete.
Yeah, 145 in fact. Interesting that Tigran Martirosyan of Armenia, 146 kilos is...
Well, also Alexandra Dudoglo of Moldavia was posted 142. So he's obviously had a good warm-up and is looking to come in at, well, more than 145.
Good French contingent in the house as ever, and This is, of course, the man that's Madeline Yamashi there in the crowd. And Dabaya, world champion in 2006, European champion in 2007, but couldn't hold on to that world title in Chiang Mai.
Yeah, he's known for his strength in the clean and jerk. The snatch, he just needs to stay in there, really, doesn't he? You know, doesn't want to let anybody get too far away. Oh, well, I think that's the best I've seen him on the snatch.
Absolutely.
I think that's the strongest I've ever seen him.
Yeah. That was...
Well, I mean, he normally does around 145 on his sort of third attempt, but to come in as convincingly as that, he's certainly a man on form. I mean, he's posted 185 for his first clean and jerk, and going on the first snatch of 145, which he also posted. He's certainly not playing games, is he?
No, and it's good because he's the... At the moment, he's the captain and spirit of the French team. Big question, actually, for him is, after the Olympics, he's 26. I mean, he could go on, David, to London 2012 if he chose to do so. And now Dudoglu for Moldavia. Half a minute and 145 kilos on the bar.
Yes, the youngster.
Weighed in at 68 kilos 65. So he wouldn't have gone into the lead anyway, but...
Right, pulled it short. I mean, he's 19 years old, isn't he? He was originally down at 142. I would have thought at that age, on this stage, they'd have started him fairly light, built his confidence.
I've noticed that, though, already through the week. The Moldavians have generally been, I think, just a little bit over-ambitious.
Moldova for the second attempt with 145 kilos bar. And the next lifter in competition will be Demir.
So Dudoglu has got to follow himself because nobody else wants 145, and there's the man in picture who is down to come in at 146. So after Dudoglu has, mind you, that's assuming that Dudoglu succeeds with 145. If he fails with it, he'll have to take it again. So here he comes, the 19-year-old, for his second attempt on 145 kilos. That's 320 pounds. Remember, these men weighing in at 69 kilos. That's just a touch under 11 stone. So well over double body weight now. Double body weight, of course, 138. So this is good snatching. So short pull on the first one, but much better on the second. But unfortunately, David, a wasted attempt, which obviously limits him on how far he can go.
Yeah, puts him into second place, though. Dabaya with 2 attempts to come. Turzan Mirzaev with 3 to go. Demirev yet to start. Tigran Martirassian yet to begin his campaign. And this is bubbling up nicely, you know. This is going to be quite a little contest here. The coaches are going to have to be right on their mettle, you know, in terms of looking at the weights and playing the chess game backstage.
And making sure that people are on the stage in good time. We saw a lot of that yesterday, didn't we? People sort of being almost timed out. So, yeah, coaches need to be on the ball.
What do you call it? Sprint lifting?
Sprint lifting. So, Bulgarians, high hopes for this man. He's done it before. Can he do it again?
Not an auspicious start.
No, it just looked heavy, didn't it?
Mm.
So Dabaya's chances looking better and better. Of course, Metarosian still hasn't started. The Armenian.
So Mirzaev, 146 kilos. For the lead. 68 kilos, 89, one of the heavier guys. So the coaches have got to judge this very carefully if they want to get him a medal in the snatch phase. Eight seconds. Three or four steps forward, but the feet were in line and they were steady at the end of the effort. Three white lights, good lift, new leader. Goes ahead of Dabaya. Dudoglu in bronze medal position at the moment. Trasha of Albania down into fourth place. Mehmet Fikretov down to fifth.
Yeah, so just managed to hold on to that, and I don't really think we're going to see much more from him. But the man on stage now already failed with this on his first attempt.
Yeah, world bronze medalist last season in Chiang Mai. Snatched 153 kilos on his way to a total of 334.
Better.
Steadied in that bottom position. And that 153 kilo effort in Chiang Mai, the best he's ever done in the first half of the competition.
Per la terza e ultima prova di Turan Mirzoev, 147 kilo on bar for
yes, much better.
Last attempt of Turan Mirzoev, che passa, per cui in pedana andrà Demirev, Bulgaria.
So there it is, Bulgaria. One attempt left for the Bulgarian, but you can see the lighter body weight there ahead of Mazayev, who's also got one attempt left. Dabaya with two, bar going to 148 kilos.
148 kilo on the bar for the second attempt of Vencelas Dabaya.
So Dabaya coming on to the stage of Marty Rossi and David. Is it 150 he's going to come in at? Check that for you in a minute, but Dabaya. Well, as you said, David, the first attempt was just about the best we've ever seen from him.
Yes, I say, just needs to steadily build and just stay up there with everybody, really.
Not in the mind?
That surprises me, that,
yeah,
because he was so confident on that first lift.
Yeah, but it was almost, you just saw everything sort of drain out of him, the belief.
Yeah, he really needs to get his head together.
He needs these extra kilos, David. It's too risky, you know, even though Demirev was not that impressive on the first attempt, you know, he needs to...
Well, he's still leading.
Yeah.
Still leading. He's at 146, Dabaya's at 145.
Yeah. But, you know, when the gap opens up to maybe 5-6 kilos, that's when, you know, the pressure goes, however good Dabaya is in the clean and jerk. Now, Mirzaev coming on. 148 kilos, and this, of course, would give him the top spot in the rankings in the first half of the competition. Turan Mirzaev. Certainly in recent times, this would be the best he's done.
Yeah, just to answer your earlier question, yes, Tigran has gone up to 150.
Thought he had.
This is a big ask. 146, I think, was right on his limit. Yeah. It was just too much weight for him
So
on this occasion.
So he stays in the silver medal position at the moment, but that's his last attempt. Now Demirev. Bar still on 148 kilos.
On platform Demirev, Bulgaria. Third and last attempt with 148 kilo on the bar.
world bronze medalist at the last 2 World Championships, Thailand and Santo Domingo, which every time I talk to everybody, they seem to want to forget as quickly as possible. Do you remember how hot?
Well, there's no air conditioning in the hall, and
everybody's just absolutely streaming with sweat, and you're gasping for breath.
Yeah, I mean, if ever you're going to have air conditioning somewhere, it would have been that competition hall, wouldn't it? I mean, it was badly organised, and I think everything was bad about the TV. TV wasn't very good either, was it?
Now, Demirev.
No. So Dubai got a real chance now to get a good lead over Demirev. But remember, the man still waiting in the warm-up.
Martirosyan.
Yeah, Martirosyan of Armenia.
Well, this looked close on paper, and it's close as a result of these crucial failures. There's nobody on the list who's done 3 out of... Well, there is, actually. Britain Kalya of Albania from the B group actually did 3 out of 3. But he's the only one. Now, Dabaya.
So he just needs to get over his psychological block, because that's what it is. The strength's there.
But I tell you what will help him. Those failures will help him. They'll motivate him.
Agressif jusqu'au bout.
Come on, Venceslas.
Needs it in the head.
10 seconds. Come on. 9. Come on. Come on. There's no doubt he can do that. But he just doesn't believe it, does he?
No, that was psychological. But
Yeah.
Unfortunately, leaves him at 145. So luckily, he's very, very strong in the clean and jerk.
Yeah, and luckily he's only 3 kilos behind Demirev as well. And Mirzaev, but
remember, there's still 2 men left in this championship. I'd forgotten about Dudoglu, the youngster. So
this is a 4 kilo increase for this 3rd attempt, and weighed in at 68.65, which is actually lighter than Demirev, but not lighter than Dabaya.
But this would give him the lead, wouldn't it?
Well, let's put him in the gold medal.
Definitely going to. This will be a definite silver. I mean, we don't know what Martirosyan's going to do, because he's decided that the bar's not heavy enough for him to come out yet.
Well, if he can take it with 150, I think Martirosyan is going to have to build a cushion of advantage, because I don't think he's as strong in the clean and jerk.
No. So finishes on 145.
So at the moment, Demirev of Bulgaria in the gold medal position, from Turzan Mirzaev of Azerbaijan, Venceslas Dabaya in bronze, Dudoglu in 4th place, but on the same kilos as Dabaya, and just a kilo separating the top 4 men.
Yeah, so no one's getting away from it at the moment, but that could all change.
Well, we've had plenty of success in the women's division for Armenia. Now, the men. Tigran Martirosyan, 20 years of age. Put a total in of 320, David. Now, that's interesting, because that is, 15, 16 kilos less than the likes of Dabaya and Demirev, which is what I'm suggesting, that this is where he's got to make his kilos.
He hasn't been the most consistent lifter in the past. I think every time I've seen him, he's fouled all his clean and jerks.
Well, he certainly did a couple of years ago in the Europeans, and remember that.
Oof. Well, can't knock him for that. That's definitely the most impressive lifting we've seen today. Right. So 150 kilos, 330 pounds, gold medal, and that was easy, wasn't it? That was comfortable.
But I think this is where he now needs to really build.
Well, he knows he needs at least a 10-kilo advantage over Dabaya if he's going to, sort of hold on to a lead.
Well, now he's got to play the weighting game. He's got 152 kilos. He's got to follow himself. So what he needs to do is to use a little bit of this time, then put the bar up, gain a little bit more time.
I think he'll go 55.
147. He's gone 154 at the moment.
54. Okay.
Well, he weighed in at 68.88, so he's heavier than Demirev, he's heavier than Dabaya. I'm not sure, you know, you said make 10 kilos, so you're looking for him to go 158, aren't you?
155.
Oh, sorry, 156, aren't you? 156 would give him 10 kilo advantage.
Yeah, he's heavier, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, he is going 155. See, I was right. I am sometimes.
So Tigran Martirosyan already got one more gold medal. They had 7 gold medals, the Armenians, before we started the evening. Now they've got 8. And here he comes. Just Martirosyan coming out for this second attempt.
So this to build a pretty decent lead.
Yeah, this would be 9 kilos. Forget about the body weight difference. This would be 9 solid kilos advantage over the field. It's going to make the second half awfully interesting, David. Catch me if you can. That's what it's going to be. If he does this.
Well, I think he'll do it.
Yeah.
Looking at the 150, he wasn't pushed at all, was he?
Be mighty interesting if he could go 160.
Well, I think they'd struggle to catch him then. Oh, well, just as easy as the first one.
And talk about millimetre perfect. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, the Armenians really seem to have got themselves together, don't they?
They're taking
the women as well.
And they've taken over the choir. You remember we used to have the Turkish choir, now we've got the Armenia choir. The Armenians.
So it says new record. He must be going for 157, surely. He's going for a junior record.
Let's have a look at this. Yeah, 157.
Junior European record, 156.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be taking the record from Yuri Lavrenyuk of the Ukraine, who this is a record that's
actually he's taking 157, so he's going for the junior world record. So this will be a world record.
Junior world record, yeah. That's to take it away from Yao Yue, who actually set this in Dubai back in 2004. Junior European record has hung around for a long time. It's stood since 2001. But you're right, David, that was 155, and this is 157.
So junior world and European record.
Yeah. And we haven't had too many records. Well, we haven't had any records, really, have we?
Well, I've had a couple of junior records, haven't we? We haven't had any senior records.
Yeah. So 158. But the one significance of this, David, is 12 kilos, 12 big kilos.
Don't understand why he's taking 158 though. Because maybe he thinks that's the lead he needs, but I mean, he only needs 157 for the record.
Yeah, but I think, you know, if you think of the end game is to win the championship.
Yeah, yeah.
So 150, a 5 kilo increase to 155, now 158. Former youth European champion and junior European champion. In the shadows for a while of his older brother, but now trying to make a real name for himself in his own right.
Oh, there it is. New world record.
Yeah, junior world and junior European record. And what a way to finish off. 3 out of 3 to take 158 big kilos into the second half and to lead Demir Demirev, former 2-time European champion, by 12 big kilos, with Turan Mirzaev of Azerbaijan taking the bronze and the defending champion Dabaya now finding himself 13 kilos down. Well, game on, and what a second half in prospect, David. This is going to be a really cracking affair. Get confirmation for you of that in a moment. Here it is. Now, Martirosyan, there it is, 3 out of 3. can't take anything away from him, and that's 12 ahead of Demirev and Mirzaev, who are both on 146 body weight, separating the medals there. Dabaya on 145, the same as Dudoglu of Moldavia. Trasha of Albania down a little bit further, and all of them getting ready for the clean and jerk. We're going to take a break. Highlights of the women's 75 kilos from earlier in the day when we come back. Lignano, just about 10 minutes to get ready for the clean and jerk, and that's an opportunity to have a look at the championship that happened a little earlier in the day, the women's 75 kilo championship. But here we are, sorry, the highlights of the 62 kilo championship from last night first off, and this is Vladimir Popov.
So Popov here with 128 kilos, second attempt. And that lift put him into the gold medal position at this stage of the competition anyway. But that was soon to change.
Yeah, Petrosian, the European champion last season, representing Russia. Popov finishing off on 130, but Petrosian starting on 130, and this his second attempt at 135 kilos. Weighed in at exactly 62 kilos. David Riggott watching on here. And Petrosian, one of the younger members of the Russian squad. And looked to be on his way to not only the gold medal, but also the lead in the competition. But he didn't make 137, and Erol Bilgin of Turkey, lighter in body weight. This also his second attempt at the first half of the competition, the snatch phase. And good enough, weighing in at 61.97 to take the gold medal away and share in terms of kilos the lead with Petrosian. Popov back 5 kilos down. And so on to the second half of the competition. Suleimanov for Azerbaijan, 2 Azerbaijanis in the competition, and this his second clean and jerk attempt on 158 kilos. And Suleimanov replaced by Erol Bilgin, 160, his first attempt. And it was always a bit nip and tuck between Bilgin and Petrosian right through the competition, David.
That's right. Yeah, the lead was sort of going from one to the other. Of course, Bilgin's slightly lighter, so this initial clean and jerk gave him the lead by virtue of lighter body weight. But wasn't that convincing for a first attempt.
And it proved to be just that, because although he got 3 white lights at 160 kilos, the next 2 attempts were at 165 kilos. He couldn't manage either of those, but Petrosian really showed his strength here. 160, 165 kilos to secure the championship, and this third attempt just to put a little icing on the cake.
Well, and actually to break a record, it was a junior European record as well.
So Sergei Petrosian giving Russia its first championship of the week and defending the title that he won 12 months earlier in Strasbourg. Suleimanov getting the bronze medal. And it's been a characteristic of these championships so far, David, a real spread of medals.
Yeah, it's good to see, isn't it? I like it. I like to see. I don't like to see it all being Russian or all Bulgarian. I like to see a good spread, and yep, certainly what we're getting.
And Petrosian by 7 kilos, taking the title, and then another big.
So 164 flashing on the board. That's the first weight,
and that looks like 175 right at the top of the board.
And Dubai down there at 185. So 10 kilo difference, but remember the lead at the moment 13 kilos.
I'm absolutely certain that what Martirosyan has got to do is to come in and get that total and not be over extravagant.
I agree. Yep, he's got to play the cards well, play the attempts well, not put too much pressure on himself, put all the pressure on Dubai. So, Trasher.
Yeah, a little way to go now. Gert Trasher in 6th place, 18 kilos. That's a long way back, but he is relatively inexperienced, Gert Trasher. Interesting to see how high he can work his way up the table. So 164. And he did 166 in the Junior Worlds. Oof. Oh no!
But it's interesting because when we cut back, I actually saw him doing his last warm-up on the clean and jerk, and the first thing that struck me was that he was having trouble standing up with the weight. So he's you know, if you have, I mean, this isn't technical. This is strength. Look, he doesn't have the leg strength, or it doesn't seem as if he's got the leg strength to stand up. So it makes you wonder what's going on with these coaches. Maybe he had to come down too much body weight, or maybe they've just overestimated him and not judged the warm-up right.
Well, 68.45 suggests, David, that the body weight wasn't necessarily an issue. But as you say,
mind you, he was posted at 160. He did actually come down from 165 to 164.
Yeah, well, so I agree with you. I think they might have misjudged it. It would have been better to have come in at, say, 162
or even 160.
Yeah,
get a lift in, and then build from there. And it is awful. I mean, I can tell you from experience, if you've come down in weight and then you go out on the clean and jerk, and even though you've got 2 minutes, you've got to follow yourself. It's so tough because the recovery on the clean and jerk takes much longer than the snatch. So ideally, you really don't want to follow yourself. And there's the leader after the snatch, just at the beginning of his warm-up, posted to start on 175, so we won't be seeing him for a while.
Question at weightlifting.de is our email address, and onto the stage comes Gert for his 2nd attempt. Time is not an issue, strength certainly is.
He doesn't have any spare leg strength, so to actually do this lift, he's got to do what Tom Gugerberger did earlier in the week. He's got to hit that bottom position exactly right. So he's got to use the pull so that he can sort of catch the bounce, as it were, and just hope there's enough to drive through. Hits the bounce and squeezes through.
Yeah.
Yep, perfect that time. Now. And I'm glad he's got that one, because I think if he'd missed that again and had to follow himself again, he'd have really been in trouble. So he's got a total, 304. And an opportunity to try and add a couple of kilos.
Yeah, he's not leading though, because Dimitrios Minasidis of Cyprus, actually from the B group, he has a total of 305 in the overall competition, so they've got to surpass him, but it won't be that long. Interesting to note that in the B group today, David, was Ekrem Khalil of Turkey, and he totaled 303 kilos. Ekrem Khalil, a 2-time European champion for Turkey, won the title in 2001 and again in 2004, and only in the B group today.
Interesting.
Well, it just tells you the statement about the Turks. They are not what they were. And I think it's self-evident as to why they are not what they were.
Oof. Right. What was that all about? That was sort of a half split, half power jerk.
I'll tell you what, David.
He's not looking focused, is he?
For the moment, that first attempt, you remember in the snatch?
He just doesn't look...
He's just lost
on
it.
His game, is he?
He's lost it. That first attempt has actually mentally...
The clean, look, rounded on the clean, but had the leg strength to stand up. And then I've no idea what he's doing on the jerk. That just it's not a split. It's not a power jerk. It's I don't know what it is.
No. And he's, well, his hips are way behind. There's no way he's going to do that.
Looks dangerous, actually. I mean, look at where his legs are.
Yeah.
And the way he's splitting, he's going onto the sort of slippery rubber where the where the weights are. So failure and look, sort of dangerous technique, really.
So Demetrius Minasidis of Cyprus, he had the best clean and jerk earlier in the day, 170 kilos. So he's actually the leader in the clean and jerk rankings and leader in the overall at the moment, 305 kilos. But remember the totals entered. Dabaya looking for 337, Mrazia 335, Demir Demirev 336, and it's very interesting. Marty Rossian put down his entry total, David, at 320. Which, tells a story about the clean and jerk. And it'll be, 176. It'll be very interesting to see Marty Rossian's first clean and jerk. It'll tell us a lot.
Well, if he gets to the 175, he's... Well, actually, no, I don't think the 175 would give. I think Dubai could do 188.
Yeah.
I think he could do 188, but I think once you start getting to the 190s, then you're in trouble. We're talking about in trouble. This man's in trouble. Missed his first snatch, then got it, and then took a fairly big jump to try and reconcile things. But this is looking very, very heavy. And, well, he did it, but that wasn't the prettiest of lifts.
No, it doesn't have to be, though. 165, but again, first attempt given away. And it's just so costly. I mean, whatever ambitions he might have had, disappeared.
Knee came in. I'm amazed he doesn't get injured knees with those kind of. Well, having said that, he's very tall for a 69 kilo lifter. I think he'd be much better as a 77 or an 85er. Because I saw him out in the. I mean, you can't tell how tall these guys are. A lot of them are much smaller than you would think. But he's about the same height as me. He's around about 5'8", which is very, very tall for a 69 kilo athlete.
So looks as if nobody wants 167. Yeah, the bar going up to 167 for Alexandra Rosu of Romania's first attempt. Now Rosu way down at the halfway stage on 137 kilos.
Representing Romania, Gertrash will be the next lifter.
Well, this is raw talent, isn't it? Just 20 years of age for Romania.
Yes, another 2012 man. And I think probably at 77, not 69. Good. So that's,
yeah, that's good.
Good lift.
Yeah.
So he's got a total on the board. A couple of attempts left to move forward.
Yeah, he just pops into third place ahead of Giorgio De Luca. At the moment, it's still Minasidis of Cyprus, 305 in the total, and then Alexandra Rosu, 304. Then Efrem Yalil, 303. Kat Trasher now.
So I just said on air that I was 5'8". Just had a text message from a friend of mine, a fellow weightlifter. He said, 5'8", are you dreaming? All right, 5'7.5", and that's it. I'm going no lower.
But we all look down on you. So 167 for Geert. Third and final attempt. This for 307. No, not to be. Hips behind.
Just too heavy. Did well to get the 164 in, really.
Un totale di 304 kg, il bilanciere da chilogrammi 168 per la prima prova di Alexandru Dudov.
Yeah, really struggled with the clean. Yeah, and as you said, David, just too heavy.
He did well to clean it, actually.
Alexandru Dudov, Moldova.
Alexandra Dudoglu for Moldavia. His first attempt at 168 kilos, carrying 145 kilos forward from the snatch phase.
Well, he came in very, very high on the snatch, and I think he's done the same on the clean and jerk. Coach is really testing him. With a good second phase.
Then again, teenager. So 313 and goes into the top position. Minisidis of Cyprus now deposed from that. But you're right, David. I mean, he was asked a big question straight off there, but he answered it.
Yeah, perhaps they're just deciding to put him under some pressure and just see how he responds.
Must say, good crowd in the house tonight. Just about as busy as it's been on any night.
It's almost full. It's good. So 170 kilos, around about 380 pounds. So we're creeping up towards that 400. I know we're supposed to be kilos now, but I always like pounds because it sounds heavier, doesn't it? You know, 180 kilos, 400 pounds. Which one would you prefer to lift? So cleans well. Needs to hold.
Yeah. Needs to get the feet straight, which he has. And good second effort. But that is just the minimum 2 kilo increase. And sorry, it's not actually, it's 3 kilos. 3 kilos takes him to 307, puts him into second place overall, but in the lead in the clean and jerk.
170 kg on the bar.
And looks like might be Giorgio De Luca to come out for his third and final attempt. Here he is.
Yeah, I really don't like watching this guy. He scares me. He's too tall for this weight class.
I think this is a case of what might have been for him. But you're right, I mean, another year or two.
Another stone or two. His knee came in on the clean on the 165, and then he did that sort of weird jerk technique.
Well, if he can get this up, well, how much has that taken out of him? You can just see he's right on the limit.
No. Good effort though. I actually wouldn't have put any money on him cleaning that, so he did well, gave it his all. I think didn't seem that focused today though.
No, for the very moment,
that failure on that first snatch, absolutely, it all sort of went wrong after that, didn't it?
He realised that, you know, what he did was completely stupid, and you know, you start kicking yourself. Now, if that stays in your mind, and I think it did stay in his mind, it just affects everything else you do, because you just lost your focus, you've lost your concentration.
And he's managed two out of 6. Yeah. So you know, low percentage. 33% success, not good enough.
172 kg on the bar for the second attempt.
Well, Dudoglu, what you said, David, first attempt he did it, but they were pushing him. Now they've pushed him another 4 kilos.
Well, I think they know he's not going to win the championship, so they're just putting him under a little bit of pressure and seeing what happens. No, I think he was very strong in his second phase of the jerk, but struggling in the clean. Just seemed to manage to get enough height to get it on his shoulders, and then really had to work to stand up with this weight.
There's a question whether he can actually complete the first element.
Yeah. Pull wasn't great, and
he's got one more go.
yeah, I mean, he'll have to just catch it just right to get up from that. He doesn't have the reserve leg strength to actually get it a little bit wrong and still stand up.
Stays on 3:13 at the moment. In the lead, if you're just coming in, David Morgan together with myself, David Goldstrom, early stages, or about a third of the way through the 69 kilo men's European Championship, and still to start their challenge, Afghan Bayramov of Azerbaijan, the defending champion Venceslas Dabaya of France, Demir Demirev, twice European champion for Bulgaria, and his teammate Mehmet Fikhretov, the leader at the halfway stage, Tigran Martirosyan of Armenia, and Turan Mirzayev of Azerbaijan. So quite a long way to see how this story unfolds, and it is Bayramov to come in and take his first attempt. So Afghan Bayramov had a long way down, only 9th at the halfway stage, 136 kilos, 14 huge kilos behind Tigran Martirosyan of Armenia, who set a new junior world and junior European record with his third and final snatch, 158 kilos, to lead the defending champion by 13 kilos, Dabaya. That's the measure of the question the Armenian has thrown down to the Frenchman.
So this man snatched 136. Much stronger in this phase, if I remember. Much stronger on the clean and jerk than the snatch.
He's going to need to be.
Well, he's 22 down on the leader. He's not looking for overall medals, but he may be looking for somebody on the clean and jerk.
I think he'll be looking for 177 if he's lucky.
No. Well, that was the kiss of death, wasn't it? Much better in this than on the snatch.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a very deep split as well.
Yeah, it was deep and his hips were behind. He was never going to recover from that. Can we just get a chance to look at that from the overhead?
Got an email in from Sebastian Bastek from Poland. Evening to you, Sebastian. Thanks for joining us and watching it. And I gather you've been watching the coverage on Eurosport since the 2002 World Championships in your own hometown. In fact, in Antalya. No, 2002 World Championships were in Warsaw. And glad you're enjoying it. You were asking, curious if Julia Rode, 53 kilos, is related to Andre Rode. The answer to that is yes. He's her uncle. And an Olympian. So hopefully that answers your question. Question at infovoice.de, question at weightlifting.de, I should say, is our email address. So do get in touch.
So the bar stays at 173 for the second time of asking. A lot of these athletes are putting themselves under a lot of pressure, aren't they, on the first attempts? They seem to be starting very, very high.
Yeah,
I suppose it's aspirations. It always happens actually before Olympic Games. People just push themselves right to the limit.
Well, for some, they're being asked to do a job for their team. For others, they're not going to the Olympics, so this is their big opportunity of the season. And I'm afraid it's going south for Bayramov.
Yeah,
2 failures
now.
Yeah, and I wouldn't put too much of the money that you still owe me on the third attempt.
Actually, I owe you quite a lot of money at the moment, don't I?
You do.
It's
yes.
more than €5, isn't it?
Yes, $500,000, I think.
Half a mil. Yeah.
On platform, Alexandru.
It's quite an interesting centre here. There's really good sports facilities here in Lignano Sabbiadoro. The swimming pool is absolutely excellent. They've got a 50-metre Olympic pool here, 25-metre pool as well. The Ukrainian national team is training here at this very moment, and wouldn't be surprised. I haven't spotted them in the audience as yet, but they may well be in before the weekend's out. Last time I was here, there's a British swimming team, lots of mums and dads out with the kids from Gloucester, and I was chatting to them, David, and saying to them, why did you choose to come here? And they said, here in 10 days we can do more than we can achieve in 3 months back in Great Britain.
Really? How did they work that one out?
Well, just the number of sessions they can get in. You know, we don't have 50-metre Olympic pools, you know, in the UK. And the pools that we have got, you know, the access to them isn't that easy. It's ridiculous for a country which keeps boasting of being fourth wealthiest in the world, isn't it?
Well, we don't really put that much money into sport, do we?
It's quite interesting.
Sometimes the government pretends they put money into certain things, but what the reality of it is that a lot of the money doesn't go where it's supposed to.
The interesting thing is, when you look at the swimming pool from the outside, it's not the most imposing piece of architecture, but you go in and it's fantastic. Pool's great. The swimmers tell us that, you know, the quality of the work they can do is terrific. And as a spectator, you know, unlike some pools where you go in and you're sweating because the atmosphere, they can't get the humidity or the temperature right, absolutely wonderful.
Well, I'm sure we can do it in our country if we want to. Yeah, we love it when we win, but we don't seem to.
Yeah, but what I'm saying,
support our athletes, do we? Not as much as we could. That's better.
Let's support this man. Let's hope he gets this. This is for the total. Come on, come on.
That's better. That was a good recovery. I've got to give that to him.
Yeah.
2 failures, absolutely tires you out, that kind of thing. And then he's had to follow himself. He's sort of slowed the competition down a bit because you know, he's taken the full time, which you need to when you're following yourself on a clean and jerk. But he's got a total, so that's good.
But that's good because, you know, I mean, he doesn't allow anything to distract himself, and he's at last got what he needed, which is a total. It's not going to do anything for him in particular in terms of medals.
First attempt with the 175 kilo on the bar. Turan Mirzoyev will be the next lifter.
And here we go, Mehmed Fikretov, 175 kilos, and Fikretov.
Yeah, he snatched 140, didn't he? He did very well. He failed on his second on 139.
Yeah.
Didn't flinch really. Decided, well, okay, that was a technical error. I'm going to go 140 anyway, and he did it.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Second Bulgarian. He's the second of the 2 Bulgarians. 5 kilos behind Dabaya, and
6 kilos behind his teammate,
and 18 behind the half-time leader.
Yes.
That's a confident clean. Slides the hands out to make the jerk just a little bit easier, not having to go so far.
Also favours the power jerk. Yeah, it's something that was developed by the Bulgarians, actually. They decided that the closer hand spacing was more advantageous for the clean, and then they worked out that if they took their hands out slightly, the bar doesn't have to go quite as high. So they developed that, and quite a few other athletes have taken that on. Dabaya actually is one of them.
Yeah, this was very good. Best we've seen, I think, so far in the clean and jerk, but a ways to go.
Definitely the most convincing.
Yeah, Fikretov now in the lead, 315 kilos, 2 ahead of Alexandra Dudoglu of Moldavia. Then Bayramov, 309 in 3rd place. Rosu of Romania in 4th on 307. And the man who was in the B group, Minasidis, I beg his pardon, from Cyprus, 305 kilos.
Well, just looking at the board there, and I can see that the Armenian's gone up to 180. Now, I don't know if that's sensible or not, David.
Well, this is what I was saying.
Well, time will tell, but I've seen him come in at heavy weights and do really well on the snatch and then fail.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to come in at a heavyweight. He's got a massive lead on the snatch of 13 kilos. He could come in lighter, he could not put too much pressure on himself, build steadily, and then put all the pressure on Dabaya.
Gut feeling, bad move?
Well, having said that, he did look really good on the snatches, so I don't know.
Rosu doesn't get it onto the shoulders. 175. Third attempt, stays on 307, currently in fourth position. Dabaya, defending champion. Demirev trying to get a hat-trick of victories. Still to start. Tigran Martirosyan, the man who has got this serious advantage from the halfway stage. And Turan Mirzaev to begin. But here is Dudoglu, currently in second place now.
He found when he succeeded with 168, it was pretty tough. Then he missed 172.
He's gone to 175.
Huh. They're testing
testing him.
Testing. Yeah, I mean,
what's he done wrong to deserve this?
I don't know. Didn't eat all his Weetabix this morning.
I don't know. He's upset somebody, hasn't he?
Oh, fair play.
Oh, that's
cleaned it.
Yeah.
It's excellent. Now needs to steady.
Well, I'll give him full marks. 10 out of 10 for the try.
I didn't think he'd clean it.
No.
No, he did well. Gave it 100% effort. Didn't bottle. I mean, he just wasn't strong enough to do the lift, but
gutsy.
Gave it everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So Martirosyan. Hang on, let's try and work this out.
180. Well, this is going to be a new total record, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm looking at 330. Yeah, 335 is the junior European, and
It's going to be 338, isn't it?
Yeah.
So this will tell the tale, David.
Certainly will.
We've seen him come in at heavyweights before. If he succeeds with this, it means Dabaya needs 193 kilos. For starters, world record stands at 197. That was done by Jiang of China.
Yeah, Zhang Zhuzhong.
So this lift will leave Dabaya needing just 4 kilos short of the world record. Of course, he's still got 2 lifts to come.
Let's wait and see. Is this the right move or the wrong one? 15 seconds. Well, power clean, power jerk, I should say, and
I think that's. I think we're looking at the new European champion. Can't see Dabaya doing 193.
338 kilos, a new junior European total record. And
he's certainly gone away, hasn't he? He's gone back to the training hall, and he's put right any faults or any problems that he had.
Now, if he's sensible, David, he's got 2 more attempts. This is where, yeah, okay.
181, 180,
yeah,
182,
exactly.
Just small jumps.
Yeah, exactly.
Just make sure of it.
Yeah, nothing ridiculous.
Nothing ridiculous. No.
Yeah. So Fikretov, currently, believe it or not, in second place, but 23 kilos down. So this is a 5 kilo increase for him, which will take him up to 320 total. Currently in overall silver medal position.
Yeah, 180 kilos, 396 pounds. Remember, these men are weighing in at about 152 pounds.
Oh, that would have been the lead in the clean and jerk, but unfortunately not the case. So Martirosyan prevails in that regard. He's first. Second, Dugoglu, overall third at the moment. Bayram off the podium now, down in fourth place, ahead of Orosu. But still, Dabaya, Demirev, and Mirzaev of Azerbaijan to start.
Well, I think it's a fight for the silver total and the gold on the clean and jerk now.
Well, I'm interested with Mirzaev. I mean, Mirzaev has posted 181 kilos, so we're going to see pretty quickly, David, who's really... Well, no, Mirzaev, yeah, he's going to come in next at 181 kilos. Now, Mazayev, the bronze medal at the halfway stage, 146 kilos, the same as Demir Demirev. So he's got a 12-kilo deficit to try and reduce. If he does this, of course, he'll go into the lead in the clean and jerk, and he will reduce that deficit by 1 kilo to 11. You wouldn't think he'd be catching those kilos too fast. But what he may be doing, David, first of all, is to get the total and then look about getting either the silver or the bronze overall.
I think this is a pretty high starter for him.
Yeah, it's right on his personal best marks. But then again, Martirosyan, if he's improved, the only difference is that
well, he's older, isn't he?
Yeah, he's 28.
Less likely.
Yeah.
And you expect it from the youngster. One second. He pulled that with 2 seconds left on the clock. I think he does a power jerk technique as well. No.
Oh. Is that too close to the windpipe? Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Too close to the windpipe.
Went there. Yeah.
Well done by the coach. Spotted that straight away.
Yeah, a good bit of coaching.
Yeah. Mike Irani, I think it is, the doctor on duty. Oh.
Yeah.
Is it? No, it's not. Actually.
Well, his coach actually went on and sort of helped him off.
No, it's not Mike, actually. Mike's usually a bit quicker than that.
So.
Right, Demirev. Well, it's same situation, you know, he's 12 big kilos behind.
I don't think there's any doubt who's going to win the overall.
Well, he got this in the Worlds, but he didn't get 185. And
well, they're all playing high-stakes poker, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, he's put them under. Martirosyan's put them under such pressure. I mean, 3 fantastic snatches. I mean, we're now looking at, you know, if Dubai could come out and do this, David, it would be amazing. The amazing finale.
Well, the only way Dubai is going to do this is if Martirosyan doesn't go any further, and he gets the opportunity to do 193. Now, I don't know what I think his best is 189, or is it not?
Dubai
around 189.
We'll have a quick check on that.
Have a little look. He's tried 190, hasn't he? He's done 187. Tried 190.
Yeah, he tried that in Strasbourg last year, but remember, you know, he
wasn't under pressure though, was he?
Yes, he was, because he only got the championship in Strasbourg by
bodyweight.
By bodyweight.
No, but the point is, he'd already got the championship on bodyweight before he went for the 190, so he'd won the championship already.
Yeah. But you say, you know, as you say, 193 is.
But looking at it, I mean, looking on here, you've got him 3 good clean and jerks there, 3 good clean and jerks. We're just looking at past results of
but that's the reason why, David, you were saying that, you know, that the miss in the snatch phase, not getting up further than, you know, 145, that's where it's really costly. If he could have got to 148,
yeah, he may have had a chance. But having said that, we still haven't seen him pushed on clean and jerk. He's often got 3 lifts in, so we don't really know what he's capable of. Certainly not capable of 198.
Well, Demirev, whatever chance he might have had of the overall championship, I have to say, has presumably, David, disappeared. This obviously would take him into the lead in the clean and jerk and 2nd overall.
Well, we're seeing some failures here. This competition's really starting to slow down, isn't it? And that really.
Oh, just look at the look. You know, just look at the expression on the face there, David. You know, he doesn't believe this now, doesn't he? You know, he just sort of felt, you know, that all the heart was draining out of him there. So Fikretov.
Well, failed on 180, and this is actually reminiscent of the snatches. Failed on 139, moved up a kilo to 140, did it. Failed on 180, and now playing the same game. Let's see if it comes off. No.
Nope. Well, some lifts running out here, and Fikretov still in second place. Dudoglu of Moldavia, 3:13 in third place, but Dabaya to start. Demirev yet to get a total, and Mirzaev has put it up to 182. Well, he's clearly got his eye on an overall medal. Now Demirev.
So this to stay in the competition and take him into silver medal position.
Well, it does tell you there's a big change in the world, isn't there, David? The World Anti-Doping Program has really kicked in.
There was a time when the Bulgarians would have been maybe down on the snatch, but then they could have just waited and taken whatever they'd needed to win on the clean and jerk, and that doesn't happen anymore, as we can see.
Yeah.
So, you know, Demirev is out without a total.
Two-time former champion, no total. Ekrem Yelil, two-time former European champion, only able to compete in the B group. I mean, medals much more widely spread right across Western Europe, and as well as, you know, the East now, but Western Europe regularly scoring medals. What it tells you is that it's not quite a level playing field, but the World Anti-Doping Program is having a positive effect in the right way.
So Dabaya has looked at the field and has decided to come down from 185 to 182 to secure the silver medal, and then I think after that they'll say, okay, gold medal on the clean and jerk on your second attempt, and then if you want to go for the total on your third, if you think you're in there with a chance. I mean, he already needs 193, and that's assuming that
well, you've still got to remember,
Martirosyan isn't going to do any more.
Hang on a second, you've still got to consider Mirzaev, who does 146 kilos, which is one more than.
Well, I know. I watched him on his first clean and jerk, and I don't think he's going to make a total. And I think that the French camp would have been doing the same. Well, he does look strong, though, doesn't he?
Yeah. Look how easy that was.
Well, relaxed slightly, but the actual getting the weight overhead was very easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, just relaxed a bit when he got it there. Almost too easy, wasn't it?
Yeah. So.
Well, I think that was the right choice.
So Dabaya up into, as you said, David, up into silver medal position, but now still 11 big kilos behind, and everything really depends on Martirosyan. Martirosyan, you know, the bar's gone to 182, David. This is where we were
183.
talking. 183. This is where we were talking about Martirosyan. Martirosyan, if he'd come out and done an extra couple of kilos, he just would have taken the heart out of Dabaya, wouldn't he? He would have left Dabaya saying, I can only do the silver.
I've no idea what this guy's doing. Absolutely no idea. 181, came in right on his limit. And decided that, failed it and decided to jump to 183. So maybe he knows something that we don't.
"15 seconds.
Well, actually, I've got to say that's better. Well, almost proved us wrong there. I mean, the actual lift there was much better.
Well, remember the first one, the weight was across his windpipe, and again, very, very dizzy.
But still dangerous, because there is a chance that he could do that.
Yeah.
I think,
you know, two of those and feeling dizzy twice, you know, odds against rather than odds for. And I don't understand Martirosyan, David. I don't understand Marty Rossi. Well, surely the sensible thing is to come out and just get another couple of kilos. It's like another nail in it, isn't it?
But he's got 3 lifts. Why not use them all?
Yeah. You know, he's posted 185 to come out. That surely isn't. Yes, far more than he's going to need.
And if he misses it twice, Dubai, I mean, you know, like I say, we've never seen him pushed in the clean and jerk, not really. And looking at that 182, you know, 190, 193 is a possibility.
Well, again, you know, maybe he knows something we don't know, but the point about it is that message of him going to 85, I think the French coaches would look at that and say, oh, he's afraid of Dubai. He's afraid of us. He's put it to 185. Whereas I think you and me would have put it to, what, 182, 183 max for the second attempt.
Yeah, I think I'd have used them all.
Yeah.
So another athlete trying to stay in the competition.
This is hard. This is really hard coming out. He's you know, he's having to follow himself, and well, good on the crowd. They're really getting behind him. That's good sporting support there. It's horrible going home without a total.
Well, this is going to put him into silver medal position, so, and keep him in the competition. Failure, he's going to go home with nothing.
Yeah.
So all or nothing. 183, just a shade over 400 pounds.
Not quite nothing, because he has got a snatch bronze medal, but that's, well, all credit to him for cleaning this twice, but can he do it? No.
No, dizzy again.
No, there's just not enough time to recover. And
Irani, yeah, Mike Irani on the stage. Yeah. So for Dubai, though, this is good news, because it means he's already got the silver medal and he can just wait now and see what he needs to do.
Yeah, of course, Marty Rossi now is going to come out at 185. And again, this is going to be another junior European record. That's 5 kilos up, so let me look at this.
It's going to be a total record, isn't it?
Total record, yeah. So this would be, what, 343?
343.
Yeah.
Absolutely spot on.
Yeah, senior European record's actually 357. That's held, or was set by Galibin Boevsky, believe it or not, way back in the World Championships of 1999 in Athens. That's how long it stood. Now, this is crucial. If he gets this,
that's the title.
Yeah. But
well, it means, well, I'll say that's the title. It means Dubai would have to go to 198 and break the world record to beat him.
Well,
he's strong in the clean and jerk, but I'm not sure he's that strong. Oh, well, that looks better than his first.
Well, that's good. Needs the feet still, he's got it. Well, that surely, David, is the championship for Armenia. I don't think there's anything Dubai can...
No, Dubai's got the silver. It's just a clean and jerk competition for the gold now.
Yeah. Well, he obviously, you know, he said we expected him to improve, but we knew that was his weaker discipline. But no longer.
5 out of 5.
Yeah. Now, if he does take the championship, that will be, just get this right, that will be 10 gold medals for Armenia, men and women.
So Dubai now just doing the sensible thing, taking the same weight to equal him, but actually take the gold on the clean and jerk by virtue of lighter body weight. Yeah. I think he knows now that he's not going to win the title.
Well, the other thing is, if he's going to the Olympic Games, round the corner, this is not the moment for any sort of silly heroics. No. You know, you've got to be realistic at this stage. 3 months away from the Olympics.
So, 15 seconds. Good clean. Takes the hands out, dips, and goes into the gold medal position on the clean and jerk.
Tigran Martirosyan, 343 kilos. Just to put that in context, Zhang Guozheng, #1 in the world rankings, coming into these championships, total of 347 kilos. So interesting with Martirosyan, you know, how much more he's going to take. He's put another 3 kilos on, taking to 346 if he does that. Martirosyan came into the competition 5th equal with Dabaya in the world rankings. These the top, well, I say they were the top 2. Actually, Demirev was ranked 4th.
This is going to put him on 345, isn't it? So I don't know where that ranks him in the world rankings.
No, he did 185, didn't he? So this is 3 kilos more, 346.
346.
Yeah.
So this for 6 out of 6 and a new junior world record.
Well,
he's looked fantastic, hasn't he?
You cannot argue. I mean, that's just a perfect evening. Perfect evening.
Dabaya now needs to take this weight to take the gold medal on the clean and jerk.
So that's 346, and that takes him into effectively 2nd place in the world rankings, just a kilo behind the Chinese lifter Zhang Guozheng, who is the clean and jerk record holder at 197 kilos.
It's not over. It's not over yet. There's still a medal to be decided.
Yeah, and this is for the clean and jerk gold for Dabaya. As you rightly said, David, he's secured the overall silver. Mehmet Fikretov of Bulgaria has got the overall bronze, but this is about the clean and jerk gold. 188 kilos, Dabaya, 68 kilos, 58, Martirosyan, 68, 88. And Martirosyan, well, in the men's division, he's been the star of the championship so far.
(13, 12, 10 seconds).
Yeah, it was 2 seconds last time, wasn't it?
Cleans well. Now, this will be a good end to the championships. And yes, there it is. So the gold medal on the clean and jerk. And do we get a back somersault or not?
Yes, here we go. No, we don't.
No, we don't. No, we only get back somersaults when he wins the overall.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a shame.
But of course, David, that's a great consolation for him in terms of this championship. The unfortunate thing is, in the Olympics, it's not about individual medal honours, it's about the total. And Dabaya, you know, that's his big ambition, as it is for all of them to get an Olympic medal. He was 5th last time in Athens. But Tigran Martirosyan, what an improvement. And remember, just 20 years of age and representing Armenia. And as it was last year, it was the Russians who ultimately headed the medal table in Strasbourg. But the Russians haven't got a stronger team here, stronger squad. And Armenia, at the moment, if you look at the medal table, they're really romping away with this. Because I make that 10 gold medals. Hasn't quite been updated as yet. There's the clean and jerk results. Well, for me, that's the best men's competition so far. And I think Martirosyan, the champion for Armenia. And look at that. That is 13 kilos ahead of Dabaya. And then Eternity, 31 kilos back to Fikretov. Dudoglu of Moldavia in 4th place. Well, the rest are the Atlantic Ocean apart, or should I say the Mediterranean apart. And neither Demirev or Mazeyev able to total. Well, this is it. multi-records and the European Championship. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back for the medal ceremony after this. Welcome back to Lignano. Splendid competition, David. Thoroughly enjoyable.
Very good. Best competition of the championships, I'd say, so far. Highest quality of lifting, anyway.
Your assessment of the new champion, as we see, well, 9. I can't do my maths, can I? They've got 9 gold medals because, of course, Dabaya took the gold medal in the clean and jerk. But nonetheless, look at that. Armenia ahead of Turkey and Russia and the Ukraine. France getting on the medal table for the first time. So that means we've now got 16 nations at the Europeans. Tell you what, David, if we could be 20 nations by the end of the week, that would be the best spread ever in the European Championships. And that would be a really healthy sign.
So the champion, the youngster, much improved. And I'd say looking pretty good for the Olympics. I mean, he's young. You know, he did 6 for 6. So, you know, he wasn't really pushed here. And, you know, who knows how much he can do now, never mind in 3 or 4 months' time.
But I can tell you, there'll be a big difference walking out onto that Olympic stage in Beijing with a Chinese audience, because the one thing you'll find in Beijing, that it's very, very difficult for people to get tickets. And the audience, if there's Zhang Guozheng there, the audience will be on his side. They won't be on, you know, Martirosyan's side, and the whole atmosphere will be very different to what it is tonight. You know, and the pressure of the Olympics. You know, the pinnacle.
Yeah, but that's what being a champion's all about. Yeah. You know, these are things you have to face, isn't it?
Hey, Armenia striding on there. There's an interesting. Look how the medal spreads amongst the countries there. And even Demirev's going to get a consolation prize.
Presented by Mr. Samuel Khachatryan, President of Weightlifting Federation of Armenia.
Well, I think I better have a word with the president of the Armenian Federation. I think we perhaps ought to be thinking about taking the European Championships there. Jean-Paul Bougaredez, the man who was responsible for staging the Europeans last year and will be responsible in 2011 for hosting the World Weightlifting Championships on the eve of the London 2012 Games.
For total, the medals are presented by Mr. Samuel Khachatryan. Third, and the bronze medal.
So the bronze medal goes to Mehmed Fikretov of Bulgaria, achieving a snatch of 140 kilos to go with a clean and jerk of 175 for a total of 315 kilos. And denying Alexandru Todoglu of Moldavia the bronze medal by a couple of kilos. Venceslas Dabaya, 145 kilos in the snatch, 188 to take the clean and jerk gold medal for a total of 333 kilos. But the outstanding champion of the men's championship so far, Tigran Martirosyan, the younger of the Martirosyan brothers, now a champion in his own right, 158 kilos. And that's a new clean and jerk, I should say, a new snatch record, 346, and the championship to Armenia. Well, if he stays fit and well, Tigran Martirosyan has to be a name to put in your notebook for the upcoming Olympic Games. From David Morgan and myself, David Goldstrom, thanks for your company today. Tomorrow, it's the women's super heavyweights and the men's 77 kilo class in Italy. Have a very good evening. We'll see you tomorrow. For now, though, bye-bye from Lignano Sabbiadoro. And welcome to Lignano Sabbiadoro in the 85 kilo men's championship final of Europe, and we're just about in the lower third. You can see there the situation, and onto the stage is Ince for Turkey, the man who currently leads this competition, having snatched at his first attempt 163 kilos up on the bar to 166, and currently 3 kilos ahead, or will be 3 kilos ahead of Georgi Markov if he makes this second attempt. Georgi Markov, of course, of Bulgaria. Ince, the European champion back in 2004, on the eve of the Athens Olympics. And alongside myself, David Goldstrom, is David Morgan as ever, and that's an important setback for the Turks, who, frankly, David, have looked a shadow of them of their former selves.
Well, that's right. Like the Bulgarians, the whole team seems to be, well, and the Russians for that matter, the whole team seems to be slightly under par.
So just to bring you up to date at the moment, Ince on 163 kilos is now in the lead by virtue of lighter body weight over Georgi Markov, 163 kilos.
166 kilograms on the bar,
and then in third place, Andrej Kutlik of Slovakia. And this is the situation as you join us here. Ince, you can see lighter body weight ahead of Georgi Markov of Bulgaria, the Olympic silver medalist from way back in Sydney when he was lifting at 69 kilos. Kutlik of Slovakia is at the moment in the bronze medal position. You can see secured that ahead of Benjamin Hennequin of France, also on 160 kilos, made that on his third attempt. But still to start their challenges, Tigran Martirosyan, the older brother of Tigran Martirosyan, who won the 69 kilo championship a little earlier in the week, and the Russian Vasily Polovnikov, who've yet to start. So this is Georgi Markov, and, well, David, you remember this man really well.
Well, that's right. I remember him lifting these sort of weights 2 weight classes lighter. He snatched, in fact, he still holds the world record on 165, lifting in the 69 kilo class. So he seems to have gained 2 stone and no strength whatsoever. But that's good.
Yeah, 167 kilos, and it takes him into the lead, but that is his final attempt. With Ince with 1 to come, and Tigran Martirosyan and Vasily Polovnikov of Armenia and Russia, respectively, still to start.
It's interesting, actually, if you look at the Turkish team, they seem to be more confident, overconfident of the weights that they can lift because they've lifted heavier weights in the past. So they're taking all kinds of strange jumps after failing weights, thinking they can do it, and it hasn't been coming off so far.
Now, Ince, if he makes this, will go into the lead by virtue of lighter body weight over Markov. Ince now 27 years of age. And that's good. Probably the best one of the 3, David. We haven't seen much fire out of the Turkish team.
I think it's frustration, I think, as much as anything.
So Turkey lead, Bulgaria second, Kutlik of Slovakia in third place, but it's a fragile third place. And indeed, Georgi Markov, although he's in second place, having finished his lifting, if Tigran Martirosyan and Polovnikov are better, he can still be pushed off the podium. So here is Vasily Polovnikov, 168 kilos on the bar. This 85 kilo class, 187 pounds, 13 1/4 stone. And Polovnikov for Russia, coached by David Rigert, third in the national championships this season, and a former junior European champion 3 years ago. That's very good.